It's week 11 here on Splash Play. No matter how tired you are from John Jones's mediocre fight last night, we got to dust ourselves off and get going, looking at projections and ownership to try to find some of the best plays on week 11. We're also going to run the optimizer, the solver sim, and hop over to stochastic sims. We're going to look at QB lineups, the top ROI lineups for every QB out there to find out the true must plays of the week. It's our final takes video, guys. Let's get into it and let's go to the projections. Hope you're all having a fine Sunday morning. My kid woke up at 4:45, so combine that with a fight card going to 1:30 and that little dipshit getting up at 4:45. Feeling great, but appreciate the chat. Eddie being here, Steven being here. Appreciate you guys. Let's get into it. All right, top projected players as of right now, just the main slate only. One guy that's moving around a little bit, Christian McCaffrey, did not seem as well projected on Friday. Now with George Kittle downgraded to doubtful, likely not going to play this week. McCaffrey looks like the top play to slate by a pretty wide margin. The projection for him up to 24.4, about 3x the value on him. So you're going to be getting a lot of Christian McCaffrey today. He's the chalk play of the week. I'm frankly not sure we're in the previous world of just jamming Christian McCaffrey as much as possible when the projections allow it. McCaffrey, based on the usage so far this year, got himself one red zone touch last time out. 20 intended touches overall. They tried to give him the ball 36% of the time. He was on the field for a snap. 7 targets looks good. The PPR points always going to be there for McCaffrey. I do wonder a little bit if maybe the end zone touchdown equity is not as high as it's been in previous years. And that's something that we talk about a lot with chalkbacks. Breece Hall being an example here that we've hit on a few times where it's like, hey, if Breece Hall is going to be 20% owned, maybe we don't want to play him because he's not guaranteed all that goal line work as much as other top running backs would be. For McCaffrey, that's my concern point. Obviously, historically, he's one of those guys we're talking about 6 intended red zone touches a game. That's how it was last year. He's around that Kyren Williams tier, that Joe Mixon tier. The guys just get force-fed the ball a lot. But I'm not sold that's the case this year. Kittle being out makes it a little bit easier for him to get there. But that's my concern point for McCaffrey. We'll talk about the ownership in a moment. Just to give you a hint, projected for about 36% ownership currently. So it's going to be a lot of McCaffrey today. He's hard to ignore. I do think ignoring him, though, is still viable on the slate, even though that projection does look really good. Alvin Kamara, not too far off himself. Got to imagine there's going to be some amount of line of sight they'll try to cram into these two guys. Kamara, 23 fantasy points. Again, also almost a 3x value for him. Kamara, the workload should be there as well for PPR. Facing Cleveland, not as great of a spot. The game's basically been a pick 'em all week. I think it still is as of this morning. No, finally shifted to Cleveland by 1. So for Alvin Kamara, though, he was the first read target of note last week where there were basically no receivers left for New Orleans. I think he had first read targets 25% of the time, according to fantasy points. So Kamara, he's the number 1 receiver. He's also a running back and score some touchdowns. He looks pretty good as well. And I guess we'll see if it's a pivot, but I do think a lot of people will try to play both guys this week. Lamar Jackson, too high price at 22.3 fantasy points projected, 8K salary. You can still play him. Match against Pittsburgh, as we kind of saw last week for Jane Daniels. Not these two guys are the same players, especially with how Lamar certainly presses things in action a lot more than Jane Daniels is allowed to. Lamar at number 3, don't think gets played very much here compared to these two top running backs. Josh Allen, not a lot of ownership was projected his way earlier in the week. We'll see what we get today. 21.1 is projected for him. Another top 5 player here, 2.7x value. And Devon Achane, ownership should be coming down a little bit for McCaffrey. But honestly, McCaffrey, Kamara paired with Achane, these 3 RBs probably get occurred a lot in a lot of lineups this week. We'll see what we get in the optimizer from the Sims. But Devon Achane, number 5 here at 2.9x value with a 20.9 projection. Let's go position by position real fast here with the projection so you can see the top 5s. We got Lamar, Allen again, Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes. We should call Keyshawn Boots. Tired of hearing Booty. Okay. I mean, his name is Boutte, so I think that's unfortunately the way it goes. You can't change his last name. I appreciate the sentiment. We got Brock Purdy at number 3 here, 3.1x value. He's going to come up a lot. That's $6,600 salary, giving up a couple fantasy points here, comparing Brock Purdy to Lamar Jackson, comparing to Josh Allen. But basically, because the salary is so much lower at $6,600, he's going to come in a lot. I imagine paired with McCaffrey a good amount. That was the case on Friday. Probably be the case again today, even more so. Patrick Mahomes at number 4 at 18.7 projection for him. Tough for me to want to go there this week, but you certainly could. Should be getting. Actually, I'm not sure if getting projected in, but Juju's supposed to be back. So Kasich doesn't have Juju for a projection, but you could double stack Mahomes. I honestly, I don't see Patrick Mahomes being a play I'd want to get to this week. But matchup against Buffalo, marquee matchup in the afternoon slate. If you want to get there, certainly can. Bo Nix versus Atlanta, really tough for Bo Nix to get anything going for himself, given the fact that the offense is really not that good on the year. The team wins games, but not winning in the most fantasy-friendly environments. Stats set a high projection for him. Soft match against Atlanta's defense that gives up a lot of production overall. So Bo Nix, kind of surprising to see him in the top 5, but he's had guys like Jameis, who'll probably pick up a good amount of ownership. Geno, who maybe today doesn't pick up as much, but does look like a pretty good value play. Bo Nix, I don't think he's sneaky, but I do think he's an interesting play and maybe worth getting some exposure to, given that Courtland Sutton's really kind of locked down the primary role there for the receiving, where he's getting all the benefit. Whereas before the trade deadline, he was kind of in and out. They're trying to see if they could work the other guys in. Now it seems like Sutton or bust for that pass game. We got McCaffrey, Kamara, Achane. We saw those guys. Breece Hall, got to imagine he's going to be a lot lower on this McCaffrey projection coming up. Breece still projected for about 19.9 fantasy points. Again, the goal line work is not great for him, but still a soft match against Indianapolis rather. So for them, Breece Hall, look, I think he's an okay play today. I think he's an interesting tournament pivot, but still not a player for me that I would like to have my day be made or broken by. But certainly in this spot, with some ownership probably going to Garrett Wilson on the other side too. I think there's a little bit of logic going to Breece Hall's way, even though it feels like he always leaves you leaving the bag when you do go Breece Hall's way in DFS. Jahmyr Gibbs, 19.1 fantasy points, looks pretty good. No screaming values this week up top. Nothing looks that great. Wide receivers, let's see what we get. Wide receiver projections low again this week. Nobody above 20 fantasy points. The sad state of the 2024 wide receiver groups in DFS. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, your top guy right now at 18.9. Justin Jefferson, number 2 at 18.5. Tyreek, number 3, 17.4. None of these guys look like great value, so they're going to be pretty much choose whoever you want to put in your lineups because the optimizers aren't going to really favor anybody, my guess, out of this group. Tyreek Hill, 17.4, so has a wrist injury, going to play through it the rest of the year. The workload's not been there, as I've pointed out enough times in these shows, compared to last season, but still a player with some upside. Can obviously get there in a handful of plays, even if he doesn't get the usual crush of targets, crush of touches used to get last year. Garrett Wilson, decent value at 7,100. He's the cheapest out of all these guys in about that 16 to 20 fantasy points range. I guess really 19 fantasy points range. Cooper Kupp at 16.6. Puka Nacua, a really good matchup for him that I highlighted on the premium video on Friday. New England just not good against a variety of things in terms of man defense in particular. Let me just pull it up real fast here. It was pretty jarring to look at these numbers when we did go through the stream on Friday. So basically, New England plays man defense 39% of the time. Puka Nacua versus man defense has been targeted 58% of the time he's running a route. So 58% target per route run rate, 4.4 yards per route run, positive 0.34 EPA there. Puka has just basically been gashing man defense on the air. The other thing, too, is he's been really good against zone. So Puka's just been really good on the air, and I think seeing the splits maybe go I should just be playing more Puka in general. Puka gets targeted 60% of the time against zone. 4.5 targets per out run there as well. And Cooper Kupp's getting targeted a lot too versus these kind of splits, but Puka Nacua to me having that upside, the projection being low enough here where you're not going to get him crammed in every lineup, and it looks pretty good. So that's it. Vacuum Bow. I've never heard Vacuum Bow being the nickname, but or Russ. Honestly, I think Russ is a nice tournament play. I do like him in Pickens. Took Pickens touchdown prop. Actually, I took yardage and touchdowns. I think I took the yardage prop on the fantasy points prop column I do this week. So look, I like the matchup overall for them getting some production. I don't know if I want to have a ton of Pittsburgh lines because it feels like you got to get to a double stack there. And then with the RBs being chopped up, Jalen Warren's going to play this week. Najee, when Jalen Warren's kind of coming on strong, I feel like hasn't been getting as much work the last couple weeks, in particular last week, where it's back to a 50-50 split. So I think it would have to be you go Wilson with Pickens, and then I think you add on Freiermuth, which I'm not excited about. So I think to me, it's mostly going to be Pickens by himself, not stacked up. But I do think there's production to go. There's production to go around that game because Baltimore's going to put up points no matter what in any situation. So we're going to get that push-pull on that side. And then Baltimore's pass defense, we talked about a lot, is just not that good on the year. They're giving up 300 passing yards a game. It's because of the game script going against them and the fact the defense isn't that good. Anyway, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, both guys valid plays. Deebo Samuel probably a little bit better than he would look normally. He and Juwan Jennings, and I guess to a lesser extent Pearsall, probably much better plays than they're getting projection-wise because of the fact that Kittle's not in there. Kittle's been taking a lot of work away on the year, and maybe Eric Saubert, I guess if he's the one going in behind again, behind Kittle, he's going to take a little bit of that production, but not going to keep a ton of it. So, yeah, I think there's something to be said for Deebo and Jennings this week. Jennings, his projection's down a lot lower. Jennings at a 9.9 projection seems really low. Man. All right. Surprised they saw that. I feel like they gave a lot of the leftover Kittle production to McCaffrey, which I don't know if I agree with. I just really was jarred to see McCaffrey only got one intended red zone touch last week. That's just not everybody, all the highlights, all the headlines coming out of that game last week were Christian McCaffrey rolled back to where it was. And it could have just been the game script, could have been the fact they weren't in the red zone and situations for him enough. But that spooks me where I do think trying to target some of the pass game work. Seems like a good move. Shout out to the chat here. We got some happy Sundays. We got Andy. Positive vibes in the air. I appreciate all you guys being here. And of course, make those positive vibes even greater by hitting the like button down below. Subscribe as well. Leave a comment after the fact. This video, do it every Sunday at 9 a.m. here. It's meant to give you the best final look at things here based on what actually building lineups looks like. So check it out. Hit the like button, subscribe. Of course, 15% off Stochastic. Link in the description down below. Underdog, $1,000 in bonus cash. Link in the description down below, or use the promo code SPLASH. And the solver I'll show you in a minute here. Link in the description of that too if you want to check it out. Lastly here, I guess not lastly because we'll look at the defense too, but tight ends. Kelsey, 17.6 projection, best projected tight end by a pretty good margin here. Decent value metric on him. He'll come up a good amount in a lineup build on an optimizer. Brock Bowers, 14.5. Pretty big gap between him and Travis Kelsey. Certainly a tournament play, though, going against Miami. We expect Miami to put up points, probably do through Achane, maybe through Tyreek Hill. But Brock Bowers on their side as a bring back, I think more appealing than Jacoby Myers. He's going to probably get into a lot of lineups based on what we saw on Friday. David Njoku, 13.5, 2.5x value on him. Okay. Probably the least appealing projection-wise / salary-wise out of this group. But that makes it more of an interesting tournament play. So that's, of course, the balance of it all here. Kittle's still in their projections. So that's why, okay, that makes more sense. So that's why the receivers haven't gotten the bump. That also makes the McCaffrey projection insane to me. That's like a really high projection for McCaffrey if Kittle's still in their projections. But Kittle's doubtful. So Kittle comes out. I guess you're going to see more of a boost to Debo and Juwan Jennings in their projections, and you're probably going to see them come up in ownership as well. So that'll be a trade-off coming up, I guess, when they do an update soon. It's surprising they didn't take him out, given the doubtful tag has been out since last night. Evan Ingram, he's number 5 projected guy overall. Basically, the only guy Mac Jones can get the ball to at this point. Going to be a tough game against Detroit. The coach is going to get fired if they lose as it's a 2-touchdown dog. It's really unfair. Like, listen, Doug Peterson needs to get fired. I predicted that he would get fired at some point this year in the offseason. That said, I feel like going into a game where you're a huge underdog and you're absolutely going to get smoked and go, oh, if he loses this game, we're going to fire him. Like, just fucking fire him before then. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be a tough day for Jacksonville. I don't know if you know your coach is getting fired. That's basically it. Who gets the biggest boost? I wouldn't say there's a biggest boost, but it's just everybody gets a little bit. There isn't just like, oh, one guy's going to get a ton more targets. The assumption would be it would be Debo historically, but Juwan Jennings is leading the entire team in target share on the year. So I think it's just more Debo and Jennings. And honestly, Pearsall too. Like, they're all getting a big boost. There's not really one you would say, oh, this guy's the obvious beneficiary. It's not a one-to-one replacement thing. It's not like basketball where point guard's out, new point guard comes in and absorbs all the usage. There's a tight end that's going to come in and take over the Kittle role, so it just gets chopped up between everybody else. And that's how the tight ends look. And lastly, the defenses, in case you want to see these. I'm not going to look at kickers because we don't play them on a main slate. Vikings, 9.1 fantasy point projection against Tennessee. Should blitz Will Levis a lot and get results doing that. No issue with them, even though the price tag is tough. Lions going against Seattle. High projection for them as well. Defense hasn't been that good on the year. Surprised to see them that high. But an 8.6 projection for the Lions. For the Niners, rather. For the Lions, they're number 3. Good projection against Jacksonville. They could certainly do some damage against Mac Jones. Mac Jones, though, didn't make catastrophic mistakes last week. Certainly could this week, but hard to pay that price tag from the Lions. If I'm going to pay up, I think I'd take the $100 savings, go to the Vikings if I could. Dolphins, 3K salary. They're going to be the value play of the day. 2.7x value. The Titans going to be the one that comes up a lot in an optimizer, but Dolphins not too far off. Going against Gardner Minshew. Minshew might get benched at some point in the game. So for Dolphins here, not a great defense either, but good enough. And Saints versus Jameis. Jameis drops back a ton. Saints defense not good on the year, but Jameis is prone to make mistakes. He's going to drop back a lot. So go to New Orleans. Frankly, New Orleans probably knows him as well as any team out there, having had him in the franchise for the last few years. So they're number 5 overall. Not a bad projection. Debo's worst fantasy game PPR in his career is 15 and 3 games of 34 plus points against Seahawks. It doesn't really matter that much. But what matters is Kittle being out. What matters is the fact that he's a viable projection play. Without that, previous results against the team doesn't matter. It's a brand new team. It's a brand new coach. Just doesn't matter that much. Ownership. Let's go to that next. Load it up in another tab. And let's go over here. Your top projected own plays according to Stochastic. Loading up as we speak. Do I think having exposure to a high ceiling defense is important today? I don't really care about defense ever, really. I would just be mindful of not getting the Titans and everything because they seem to be coming up in pretty much every lineup earlier in the week. Besides that, I just don't care about defense that much. You just need to play whatever defense is going to work with the players around it, what's going to work with the stack you want, the players you're locking in at various spots. That's sort of the main way that I would view it, but obviously follow your heart. You can care more about defense if you want, but it's not really an edge because defense is so random. Just try to go, if you're going to worry about defenses, go against QBs who drop back a lot. If you can pick a defense that gets good pressure, that has pass deflections at a high rate, because pass deflections, if your hands around the ball to deflect the pass, you're probably due for interception, run good at some point. But again, it's not really worth worrying about too much. Just don't play ones, I guess, necessarily. Even then, it's like you're going against a buzzsaw offense. It's still going to be a QB that drops back a lot. You have a shot. You've seen defenses win against Joe Burrow, who's one of the best QBs on the year. So I just wouldn't sweat defense that much. Main slate here, ownership. We got Christian McCaffrey now up to 40.1% ownership. So McCaffrey going to be in everywhere, and this is for a projection set that does not have Kittle out yet. So I would think McCaffrey gets up even more. ETR had McCaffrey coming in a lot with their data as well when we looked at that on Friday. We'll look at it again in a moment here. So McCaffrey, the chalk of the week. I don't have an issue with it. I wouldn't lock button him, is what I would say about it. Look, I think if I would make the case to go away from him, it's just that the red zone work in one game, and it's a very small sample to have a one-game sample, just was not the same as it was last year, and that would spook me. Like, they basically would just run him in over and over again, with targets and with rushes in the red zone. Like, they would give him everything to get that touchdown last year. If they're not going to do that this year, and it's going to be one per game, or even it gets to 2, gets to 3, it's not the same role for McCaffrey. So that's the one caveat I'll give you. A PPR points at 8,300. Like, I get why McCaffrey will be this popular. Achane, 28% ownership for him. He and Kamara look about the same. So I think you'll see lineups with McCaffrey and Achane. You might see lineups with all three, but that'd be a lot of salary to put together here. We'll see what we get here. But McCaffrey, Achane, Kamara is basically it. I'm sure it'll take a little bit of a hit, but as I mentioned a lot of times here when we did Football Outsiders, or when I was at Football Outsiders running things for a few years, the only thing we would adjust for DVOA, or that Aaron Schatz would adjust for DVOA, is the QB, because everything else really materially doesn't matter. So keep that in mind there. It doesn't functionally matter that much to lose one player, but obviously having one player probably hurts Brock Purdy the most. Doesn't really affect McCaffrey and how he'd get used too much. I think would lead to McCaffrey getting more checkdowns probably. Saubert updated to 5 fantasy points. I think he's a live pivot off of Allen. Honestly, I don't think either is really a great play on the slate. Is Saubert min salary? I don't know what that is offhand, because that was not something, frankly, I want to go to. Like, Saubert, to me, when we went to him earlier in the year when there was nobody left, he's 2,500 min salary. I think he could get a touchdown today, but I'd probably rather bet an anytime touchdown and play him in DFS. Like, you just have Debo's commanding targets, not the highest clip. Feels like he's due for more. 22% target route run rate for Debo. Juwan Jennings at 27%. Pearsall at 19% is respectable as well. Saubert's been at 8% on the year. So it's like a lot of those times he's getting targets are coming with Kittle out there, or, he's filling in for Kittle and just mostly in as a blocker. I don't see real upside for him. So yeah, Davis Allen too, honestly, like, I get the $2,500 thing, play him in cash for tournaments. I don't think that's really a plus EV move. So I wouldn't play Saubert, but I think he would be a pivot if you're gut determined, your will is saying, hey, I got to play this cheap tight end, then you can play Saubert over Allen if you want, but it's tough. I mean, I would play him in like a Purdy stack where he's the second part of that or third part of that. I think would be where Saubert has the most appeal. And honestly, maybe a bring back to try to capture the game environment then. Deebo Samuel at number 4, so his ownership coming up to 18%. Travis Kelce, 17%, as we talked about. Good value for him on tight end. How these lineups are going to be built with this much spend at RB and this much spend at tight end is going to be interesting to see. Those guys coming up a lot. Kayshon Boutt's ownership, by the way, has not moved since Friday, down to 15%, but basically was at 17 before. So Boutte getting a lot of snaps, as we talked about, playing about 60 snaps a game. That said, just a deep target guy so far, not guaranteed production. I don't ever want to take shots on a deep target guy in a game where everybody's going to be playing him. So Boutte to me, 15% owned. I would say much like Davis Allen to me at his 14%, feels a little bit trappy, but at least Davis Allen's been salary. If Boutte were 3K flat, then you could talk about it. 3,500, I might get with the field, but even that, I'm not sure I will. All right, let's go over to the solver next. Why not play Bourne or Polk? Because Bourne's going to be pretty, why not play Bourne or Polk? Okay, sorry. Let's think about Boutte. Their work's been down. It's not reliable. The snap counts aren't high. You don't have to get leverage on chalk. Like, you don't have to try to get the other outcome. It's possible the Patriots just don't score touchdowns today. I know that people think the Rams D is bad. The Rams D is bad against good teams. The Patriots are not a good team. So I think assuming that there's going to be Patriots production is a bit of a mistake. You can go there, but frankly, to me, like, I think it ends up being a game where the New England defense a little bit more spry, and Ramondre maybe gets going more, because that's basically all of New England's offense. But I think there's like a real assumption this week that somehow like Drake May is going to get production going when he has, like, they're projected for under 20 real life points, at least were as of the entire week. You're still at 19.5 points. Like the offense can fail. It's not, New England's not a good team. So that's really the main thing to keep in mind here. You don't have to get leverage on it. You could, but go crazy with it. Board was inactive last week. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. Point is really to me, like, don't go chasing New England guys. But yeah, like the snaps, because I went through snaps on Friday. It was like, Butte had 60 plus. Everybody else is around 30, including KJ Osborne. So like, you don't want to play a 30 snap guy really, unless they're presenting huge value and opportunity for you. Knox is not even playing, bud. So no, Knox is not a better play. Henry, sure. Hunter Henry's fine, but Dawson Knox inactive. So don't go that way. Let's go over the solver next. Let's see what we get in this one. Let's run 25 lineups here with no settings boosts just to see what the math's going to drive people to today. Reset settings. Here we go. Of course, what the solver does well here, it's an optimizer combined with a sim. So if you want to hand build stuff, have more control over what you're building, that's kind of the main thing to look for here. And let's look. Oh, let's put no variance on. Sorry. Just want to see what the projection is going to have and also see what the cash game line would be right now. What's the optimal? So according to ETR, this would be optimal right now. The cash game lineup you should play as of 9:17 a.m. on the East Coast. Jameis Winston at QB, Alvin Kamara. So a little bit of correlation there, even though you don't need that in a cash game. Devon Achane, Jacoby Myers, Keyshawn Butte, still projected well here. On Friday, we saw Butte and Hunter Henry getting into a lot of lineups. Still seems like we're getting Butte in a lot today. Juwan Jennings, Hunter Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Titans D, the cheap pay down defense here. People will probably go to the Titans a lot because Sam Darnold was bad last week. Doesn't mean it's going to happen again. Knox is not, he was inactive. What? Knox was out as of Friday. Hold on. There was no, because there was Dawson Knox. I was going to sub him out. I took him on the fucking underdog thing, and Knox is supposed to be out. All right, you know what? Never mind. I'm wrong. My bad. I apologize. All right, I swear I got an alert about him being out. Yeah, no, you guys are right. My bad. I apologize. Because I saw that and was like, I would like to play Knox this week. And it was like, I guess I can't play Knox. And I actually did my updated rankings on underdog. So thank you for catching that for me. Fuck off. I am. It's my first day, guys. My apologies. But yeah, Dawson Knox still, for what it's worth. I don't think Dawson Knox is actually like a good play. I'll play him in a battle royale, but like, please don't make your day, make or break on Dawson Knox at 3,500. Like, there's no guarantee he gets targets. Your run good for Dawson Knox would be he gets you like 2 touchdowns, I think would be it. Target wise, like, you're going to have Curtis Samuel playing some amount of that Dalton Kincaid role. You're still going to have Amari Cooper in there. Cooper is so weird. Like, so I know ETR put Cooper in the projections. They have, yes, we know Kincaid's out. Nothing, we're not talking about Kincaid. The point was that I thought they were both out. So that's where we are with it. Point being, though, for Buffalo, Cooper being in, if he's limited, I don't get why, given the fact that doesn't matter. Please stop giving me DVP stuff. It doesn't matter. What basically the main thing, though, for like Buffalo right now is that you have Curtis Samuel taking over the Kincaid role. You have Amari Cooper coming back in, probably taking some amount of targets, but maybe not the full amount of targets because this wrist injury, for whatever reason, might have him limited, which is odd because it's a wrist. The wrist shouldn't really keep you limited. In general, though, for this one, no, he's not out. We fucking corrected it, please. Dawson Knox, not out. Kincaid in. It's fine. We're fine. We got it right. Please, can everybody watch at the same time so I don't have to see the chat repeat the same thing over and over again? I think the main thing for me still with Buffalo is like there isn't one guy you're going to want to pin on, and I think that's the other part of it is that the assumption that Dawson Knox is going to be a much better play, people are going to make that a good amount. The assumption that I think Shakir is going to be a good play, he was really well projected at the beginning of the week because they had basically all the Buffalo guys out in the projections. Now Kincaid, now Shakir doesn't look like as good of a play. So I think that's sort of where we are with Buffalo is like, people are going to want to chase Buffalo a little bit. It's also a low total game. Buffalo spits up production pretty well. There hasn't really been like a 2-touchdown guy coming from Buffalo very often. So to try to chase Buffalo today, and frankly, in this kind of game too, where it is a competitive one, not a big spread today for Buffalo KC. It's at right now 2-point spread favoring Buffalo. Like these kind of competitive games where you see Josh Allen run a little bit more. He's had a really high pass rate in the red zone over the year, 21% pass rate expectation in the red zone. But still for Allen, like in this kind of spot, you could see him take touchdowns away. Frankly, you could see Cook take a touchdown away. So like flocking to the Buffalo receivers is not something I want to do. But I think we basically have that. Jalen, shut up. I've corrected myself like 5 fucking times, man. Go take a lap. I don't care. You don't need to be here. Anyway, let's run some more solver lineups. I'm not mad. It's more about repeating the same thing over and over again when we've clarified it. But I appreciate the concern. I don't care about your opinion, though. That's the main thing to know about this channel if you're coming in as a new person. Main slate boosts. Let's go. Are we doing a fucking bit? Please. Charlie Benarek out. It's great. No. I mean, it's an okay price point pivot. It doesn't do a whole lot for me. It's not one that I would go out of my way to do. So no. You don't have to. I can't be more clear about it. You don't have to get leverage on a play you don't like. You don't have to get another Patriot receiver in because you don't want to play Butte. You don't have to get a $3,500 player in because you want to play Butte. You can just play other players at 4K or 5K or 6K. You don't have to just do the one-to-one thing. So I understand the premise of trying to leap the field on it, but like you don't always have to do that. And there's really only one play coming up at 3,500, and that's Butte. We'll see how much Knox is coming in later, but it didn't look like a lot in the 25 set. Just keep it over here. We're building 250 lineups right now. We're going to sim out here on the solver as well and see what the solver has at the top sim ROIs. And we'll see what we get on this side of things. Of course, Stochastic coming up after this. We'll go QB by QB. Look at the top ROI lineups for every QB in game order coming up in a moment here. Yes, please. Let's move on. Kind of want to play Hendon Hooker. Yeah, that's a good move too. Onslaughting the Niners seems like the play. That's probably what the Sims will give you. When in doubt, Sims will give you more correlation. I don't think you're sneaking up on anybody, though, in a day where Kittle is out. If anything, would have to guess that you're probably going to get a lot of Purdy, McCaffrey, Jennings, Debo, maybe some Pearsall swapping in on that. I think the Sims are going to drive people to it, and people naturally are going to try to do it as well. So something to keep in mind. Knox getting 2 TDs to troll. I hope he does. I have him in the fucking Battle Royale. So I was prepared to swap off of him, but I took him on Friday. I took him in a Josh Allen double stack in the Battle Royale I did on stream. So I'm fine with that. Don't think it's a good play, though, really, for DFS. All right, almost done here with these 250 lineups. We'll see what the top ones are on the solver. Bear with me here. Doing it in real time. But the goal here is to show you exactly what it is to build these lineups, simulate them, do it in real time here. And frankly, you need to prepare accordingly because it takes a little bit longer than you'd like it to sometimes. Sim it in the slant here because we do not have a tournament with more entries on ETR for some reason. Of course, the solver, what it does, they hand build lineups or their team builds lineups to try to represent a pool basically of what the field should look like in different tournaments, as opposed to Stochastic, which kind of automatically builds it based off the settings you give it. So one key difference between those two products. Your top ROI lineup right now would be this one. Jameis Winston, Ramondre Stevenson, Alvin Kamara, Puka Nacua, Cedric Tillman, Elijah Moore, Dawson Knox. There we go. So Dawson Knox not sneaking up either. 16% ownership they have for Dawson Knox, a little bit high. Debo Samuel with this one as well. Dolphins D. So Jameis double top ROI lineup right now. Geno Smith. You got Geno, Montgomery, Bijan Robinson, Puka Nacua, Debo Samuel, Juwan Jennings, CJ Hawkinson, AJ Barner, Bills D. Barner here does not fill me with love, especially as your only stack partner with Geno. This is an odd lineup. I think it's really more the RB plays and wide receiver plays that make it work, and Barner just kind of gets in as a lesser-owned tight end as a value play. But I don't love that lineup very much. We got Knicks again, Alvin Kamara, Breece Hall, Jacoby Myers, Cortland Sutton, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Davis Allen, Christian McCaffrey, Titans D. So Davis Allen working in this one, low owned stack with it, the double with Bo Nix. So basically you're seeing here getting the ownership product down in a chalking lineup by going to a lesser double stack. So that's good logic on it. Team though, the slate, I feel like you're not going to love a lot of teams that are coming out of it. Winston again. So 3 out of the top 5 ROI lineups on the solver look like they're Jameis Winston stacks. Winston, Kamara, McCaffrey, Nacua, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore, Davis Allen, David Njoku, Dolphins D. I think I would like to have Tillman in my stacks no matter what. Tillman's ownership is one. I don't know where that's going to be. So Stochastic has Tillman at 14%. ETR has Tillman at 23%. Okay. I can see why you're not getting Tillman in a lineup, but I think for Jameis to hit the true ceiling there, at this point, probably needs Tillman, who should basically become the Amari Cooper role in that Cleveland offense. Thank you, guys. Please, everyone, when there's somebody new in chat, just inform them right away that Dawson Knox is in before they get entitled about it. Jameis Winston, Jahmyr Gibbs, Alvin Kamara, Puka Nacua, Elijah Moore, Juwan Jennings, David Njoku, Dawson Knox, Dolphins D. So Dawson Knox coming up in some of these lineups here, 2 of the top 5. Njoku in 2 out of the top 5. Davis Allen in 2 out of the top 5. Puka Nacua in 4 out of the top 5. So that's interesting to see. Kamara in 4 out of the top 5. McCaffrey, not in that many. McCaffrey only in one. So based off the top 5 here from ETR, a lot of sim love for Nakua, a lot of sim love for, a good amount of sim love for Njoku, Davis Allen, and Kamara. Kamara in 4 out of the 5 too. So there we go. And Jameis himself in 3 out of the top 5. Other interesting lineups here up top. Here's a Purdy stack. Purdy with Kamara, Achane, Juwan Jennings, 116% ROI on this one. Juwan Jennings, Pearsall, Curtis Samuel. Is it okay to tell newbies to lock button? Yes, they all should. The thing is, like, those guys are great pivots to each other. It's just play them together, and that's how you beat everybody. Juwan Jennings, Pearsall, Curtis Samuel, Hunter Henry, Christian McCaffrey, and Titans D. Is there a way to pick a new tight end for any Kittle teams on Underdog and BR on the app? Change your rankings around. And then when Kittle's rolled out, it'll pull from the top available players according to your rankings. So just adjust your rankings to whatever tight end you want. If you wanted to like put in Eric Saubert, you shouldn't do that. But if you wanted to, like you would put Saubert number 1 and he'll come ahead of everybody else. For me, I'd moved up Evan Ingram because Evan Ingram wasn't drafted in the room I was in. And I thought he's probably the best tight end play for that build that I had. So yes, that's how you adjust for Kittle if you wanted to. Mahomes lineup here. Mahomes, Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, Jacoby Myers, Kayshon Boutte, DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Barner, Travis Kelce, Titans D, 102% ROI on this one. Man, I worry about this Boutte stuff. Like, he is sneaking in everywhere. And this is like ETR projections, obviously stochastic, I expect the same thing too. Like, they should be sharp, and like they sometimes do predict guys that we don't want to see hit, but the sim still tells you, hey, this guy's a good play him. Boutte was not in the top lineups. I guess my one solace here, but Boutte in a lot of these mid-tier lineups that have a slightly lower ROI, but still a high one. So getting a lot of Boutte, even though I would like to fade him. Tua in this one, Tua, Kamara, McCaffrey, Boutte, Tyreek Hill, Jacoby Myers, AJ Barner, Juwan Jennings, Colts. I'm also surprised the amount of AJ Barner you're getting, to be honest. That's a lot of AJ Barner, who's like an okay player, but if I'm going to take a shot at like a cheap guy, I'd rather just take the Davis Allen chalk, I think, than Barner. Barner can get a touchdown, but like, I don't know. I don't think it's like that likely. Solver's going to love paying up for RB. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like it. You're getting a lot of these double chalk RBs here. Kamara, McCaffrey, Kamara, Achane. Achane and Ramondre is a little bit less owned, but Jahmyr Gibbs and Kamara, McCaffrey, Kamara Hall. David Montgomery interests me a little bit. Do think it can be a 2-touchdown game for him, even though Jahmyr Gibbs breaking some long plays against Jacksonville. Certainly an option as well. But here you go. That's sort of your read on things. And for good measure, one last one here, Geno Smith lineup. Geno, Achane, Montgomery, Myers, Tillman, JSN, Davis Allen, McCaffrey, Bears. The JSN thing's an interesting one at 1% ownership. Like, if he really does retain part of the role he had with Metcalf out, he's going to be a brand new player. And he could be interesting today on the slate because they're going to need to score points from behind against the Niners. That said, I think Metcalf being in hurts JSN enough that I don't know that I want to find that, but a Geno lineup with Metcalf and JSN, I think, stack that I would not mind getting to today, given how much Barner you're getting in this stuff. Just getting leverage, the actual good pass catcher seems like a decent move. Kenneth Walker, I wouldn't mind either in that spot. Let's go to Stochastic next, guys. Process a little bit different on here. Basically, what Stochastic does is builds 10,000 lineups and has them compete 10,000 times. So let's see what we get with that side of the equation here. And I'm not sure what the price was. I presume it's 25% to first. Might be 30. We'll figure it out. Let's see. Estimate not coming up. Probably too cute. Not coming up for the solver at the very least. He was in. Let me scroll all the way down here. Trying to find him on this screen. While this optimizer builds, or while the Sims build, getting estimate in 3% of lineups out of the top. It's only 250 lineups for ETR for the solver for what it's worth, but not getting a lot of estimate. Does seem like paying up. Seems like the main thing. What's going on? My browser's lost connection. My screen share audio. I don't think that matters. Let's see. Does the unexpected retirement of the Seattle center scare you guys? No, as I mentioned before, like for the Trent Williams thing, one player being out doesn't matter that much. It's not good. Probably hurts Geno a little bit, increases the odds of there being like a fumbled snap exchange or something, but it's professional players. Guys are meant to be kind of able to fill in and do stuff, so just wouldn't sweat it that much. Planet A, CMC, Kamara, and Gibbs go value wide receiver tight end. Matt, I have to tell you, I don't think you're surprising anybody on that one. That's very similar. Do I like Russell Wilson stacks today? I don't think they're a bad play. I think him and Pickens appeals to me. The issue is getting the second guy with it. People have mentioned Calvin Austin in the chat. I don't mind that as a concept. I think I'd be more inclined to just play Pickens alone. But look, Baltimore's defense gives up enough production. I worry, though, that this could be one of those games where, like, Kind of like Baltimore Cleveland a couple weeks ago, where I guess actually that was the one where Jameis still got there, huh? It was like an ugly route to it. So it can hit. I just don't know who the second guy is. Like, that's really my main point. I think Pickens has a good day today. I don't think I feel comfortable saying Freiermuth has a good day. Austin has a good day. One of them can, but like, I'm not sure who it would be. And frankly, it could be Mike Williams getting another touchdown. You got enough ways they can go that are not obvious, I guess would be the best way to look at it. And Arthur Smith offense just always gets too fucking cute. How do you feel about the GOAT, Mike Williams? Not good, but I think he's viable if you're going to do that double stack for Pittsburgh. Which aren't really receiver plays that you feel like you need generally. So in that case, play your stack partners with it. I think that's fine. Is it okay if I have different players than everyone else? Yes, it is. I feel like that's not sarcastic. Do I need to play the guys you showed? You don't need to, no. You're getting away from a lot of the data that recommends these are the best plays. So keep in mind that like plays become chalk, plays become popular because they're the best plays in the week. So when you move away from all the best plays, that's where you run into some issues. A lot of the winning lineups with what sims show you in general is that you can play chalk players together, but you're trying to do that in a way where like you're getting the best parts of the chalk. You then have unique things around it. So yeah, like it's not great if your entire lineup is different, but yeah, you're gonna win a tournament. It's just I don't know what your projections are. Is Debo coming up? Debo's gonna be about 20% owned. It looked like. Kittle. Thank you, Kiss. We covered this one too. Kittle expected to miss. Dawson Knox playing. Your key updates today. No, I just showed you the best lineups, and don't copy it. It's not what you should be doing. That's not the point of the exercise. Even the ones I'm showing you on screen here or on stream are going to be duped a lot. So the point is to take what you're seeing on screen and use those lessons and apply it to how to build your own lineups. I appreciate coming in here, but like if you expect the answers to the test, even if you pay for the products, like you still have to maneuver stuff, you still have to rerun things, still have to do that. I swear to fucking God. I swear to fucking God. No, he's not. He's not. He's an okay play. He's not in line to get a lot of targets. It's not possible. Thoughts on Jonathan Taylor? Those are, I'm sorry. I don't care. Please go away. Sorry. I can't be for everybody in the world. But yes, take the ones off stream, but go, please leave chat. Tua Tagovailoa, Christian McCaffrey, Devon H. I can't be for everybody. You have to have at least like, we got to be in like your 201, 301 class if you're going to hop in here. I can't handhold you at 101, unfortunately. It's not my skill set. Tua Tagovailoa, Christian McCaffrey, but basically send lineups here. These are good lineups. The main thing to keep in mind is like what I just ran here is what everybody who has a stochastic subscription is going to run. So explain the logic here because I should do that part. Basically, like what you're getting is like the core output, the core assumptions based off of the set of projections that Stochastic has. So that's really helpful to know because Stochastic, one of the most popular projections out there, sites out there, most popular tools out there. It's a really important part to know for DFS slate. Your job is to take this information and then say, how do I deviate off of this? What do I take that's good? What do I not like? What do I think that's bad that's giving you? And pivot off of that and build off of that. The guy who won a Millie Maker a couple of weeks ago with Stochastic's tools, what he would do is he would run the sim and then basically pivot the sim off of that. So he would see like Breece Hall's a chalk. I don't want to play Breece Hall. I want to play James Cook. So you would knock Breece Hall out and then boost James Cook, get him out. That's exactly how he won the Millie Maker. So the point is like you use the sims to tell you what the best lineups are based on the core assumptions. And then you pivot those assumptions by this much. You turn the knob to say, I'm this much different. So if you're totally different, you're probably not building good lineups. If you're a little bit different and you're doing it deliberately, you're building better lineups. So that's sort of the goal here. And I'm not just going to give you $1 million, unfortunately. If I could, guys, if I had $1 million to give all 215 of you watching the stream right now, I could. Unfortunately, I do not have $215 million, despite how quality the stream may look. Your top ROI lineups on Stochastic. And we'll go QB by QB here to close this out as well. We got Tua, McCaffrey, Achane, Tyreek, Juwan Jennings, Tyler Boyd. No, I'm not a magician, and I'm also not your lineup concierge. That's Julia seemed to think. Tyler Boyd, Johnny Smith, Travis Kelce, Titans D, top line. So Tua coming up here on Stochastic, not as much in the solver. Tua again, Tua with Achane. Audric Estimate coming in here after not coming up with the solver. So today could be a day where you see different lineups coming from the ETR crew and the solver, ETR/solver, and Stochastic here with their data. So interesting to note. But anyway, Tua, Achane, Estimate, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek, Khalil Shakir, Johnny Smith, Juwan Johnson, Bills D. So you're paying up a receiver here to get off the beaten path at RB, I think. All right. I don't hate it. Yeah, Tyler Boyd, my battle royale teams aren't dead, or best ball teams. Yeah. Tyler Boyd, I don't like him as a play, but he could come up sometimes. It's really Ridley or bust in that Tennessee offense, but Sims or Sims. Hit the like button, you win $1 million. Easy as that. Yeah, it's it. Just take the lineups off screen, hit the like button, and then boom, you're locked in. Please, that's not actually true. Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Debo says somebody out there is going to be like, you said if I hit the like button and took what was on screen, I'll win. I didn't realize that's where I am in my trajectory here of viewership. People think that's the case. We got Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Debo, Juwan Jennings, Elijah Moore, Davis Allen, Travis Kelce, Browns. We got Tua, Kamara, Achane, Tyreek Hill, Cortland Sutton, Tyler Boyd, Brock Bowers, Jonnu Smith, and Titans. And we have Tua again. Wow. So 4 out of the top 5 lineups are Tua lineups, according to Stochastic. Tua, Breece Hall, Achane, Tyreek Hill, Debo, Mac Hollins, Jonnu Smith, Kyle Pitts, Bills D. Look, I like the one with the Bowers bring back. I don't like the Tyler Boyd part. Don't really care about him being a Q tag, but they don't take guys out when they're a Q tag. They take them out when they're either doubtful usually or out. Thoughts on Carr and VS feels really chasey, but people aren't going to play it, so you can chase it if you want. Definitely point chasey for sure, but look, he got good work. The issue is like it was 3 targets. What are 3 targets going to do for you? That's sort of the trade-off there. Let's see what else we have in the top overall exposure. So your highest ROI players right now. So again, use this to inform as well. Not just about like the line, it's about the overall picture of what we're looking at here. Davis Allen still a 9% ROI despite being chalky at 2,500. So the Sims do think paying down a tight end going to be a move to do today, or at least Stochastic does. And you got Davis Allen a good amount on ETR as well. So I would take that. I'm uncomfortable with Davis Allen, to be totally honest. Like, too easy to play a $2,500 guy, and then he gets you 7, and then you lose to the tight end and gets you 20. But if he makes good stuff work, and if you hit the nuts around him, it can work. So I probably will not cram in Davis Allen, but in lineups where I get him that feel unique, I think playing him still okay. Jonnu Smith, 8% ROI for him. Titans D, 4% ROI. Patriots, 4% rounded up. Kelsey, 3%. Saubert, 3%. Stafford, 1%. Juwan Johnson, 1. So there you go. A bunch of guys above 1. Estime, Debo, Purdy, McCaffrey, and Njoku. There you go. Top exposures overall. We got the most exposure to McCaffrey with the Stochastic Sim, 74% exposure. It's a 42% from the pool. So even though he's a chalk play of the week, Stochastic wants you to get almost double it. So keep that in mind. Does seem like they think McCaffrey a play to build around no matter what. Achane, 52% compared to 26, so double the field on Achane as well. The Sims seem like McCaffrey and Achane the most, and Kamara, it feels like down a good amount. Yeah, Kamara, 22% compared to 26% pool ownership. Debo Samuel, 35% compared to 19. Kelsey, 33% compared to 16, so double the field on Kelsey as well. Even though they do like the pay down tight end, they're making sure you're getting a pay up tight end as another lever point. So that's important to keep in mind here. How 150 sets of lineups are built is like you want to have things where if you're playing one outcome, you then have some lineups that play outcome that's leverage against that. And not so much in like like people were asking about before. It's not about, I have to play somebody else at 3,500 to get away from Kayshon Butte. It's like instead, I'm not going to pay for a cheap tight end or whatever. I'm going to pay up to get Kelsey. Kind of the same thing as well for receivers. That's basically it. Yo, Pimp, you feeling those fins today? The Sims are. I think they're a fine play. Mostly feel the most comfortable with Achane, but don't think the workload for Tyreek is that great. Chase is that great. The pass game to me is just not where you want it to be, but I think Achane's good, and I think taking the shot on it. I mean, they have the top lineups here based on what we just saw, so that's that. What's the splash DK value play of the day? Probably got to be Davis Allen, but it's not the most fun. And thoughts on Jonathan Taylor, not that positive. The workload's been okay for him, but having AR back in there just takes down his touchdown expectation enough that I wouldn't want to be there. That's it as a tournament play. You can go there if you have a real vibe for it. For me, I don't really have one. Davis Allen, by the way, you're getting 31% compared to the field's 12%. So Davis Allen, your chalk value of the day. I mean, he'll throw the ball a little bit. He'll throw the ball as much as he normally does, but I don't think it means an outlier day. He'll be fine. Not my priority, though. Top lineups, though. Let's go game by game. All right. Start with Minnesota here. Your first game up. We can keep him favorite. It doesn't matter. So let's go Sam Darnold here. He does recognize the pimp game from the dollar hat. That's true. That's the money hat puts my pimp game on 100, as many would say. But no, I look, see, it was a good play for him. You can go there for sure. I just what am I doing here? Not passing today is not a literal statement. It means that they're not going to pass a crazy amount. They pass under expectation. Really, guys, I can't be more clear. Please don't take everything completely literally. Please. Let's go. Mitch, we're going to go through here. We're going to find out. Oh, Lordy. We got Darnold stacks here. Darnold, McCaffrey. I appreciate you guys. But, man, I get used to a certain rhythm of things. I'm not used to explaining everything and hand-holding through it. But, yes, not literally Tua is not going to pass today. He'll pass a little bit. He just doesn't pass as much as people think Tua passes. That's why H-N's a good play. Sorry if I can't handle everything as well as you guys want. Sam Darnold, McCaffrey, Audric Estime, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Tyler Boyd, Davis Allen, Travis Kelce, Broncos. So Sam Darnold stacks not in the top 150 lineups. If you see them hearted over here, that means these lineups are in the top 150 ROI lineups overall. This one, Darnold, I think, buying while there's blood in the streets. It's not a great match against Tennessee, but it's not bad enough. And frankly, Darnold last week left about 3 touchdowns on the field with some of those bad picks he had. So for Darnold going back to him this week, I think interesting because you're also going to get direct leverage on the Titans. It's going to be decently owned. Pippen ain't easy. Shout out the Godfather. That's true. Neither is understanding pass rates, I think is the other part of it. Sam Darnold, Ramondre Stevenson, Audric Estime again, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Keyshawn Butte. Wow, so you're getting Jefferson, Amon-Ra, and Butte. That's a weird build. Jonnu, Travis Kelce, Dolphins D. Sam Darnold, Achane, Ramondre, Justin Jefferson, Tillman, Pearsall, Davis Allen, Travis Kelce, and Dolphins D. These Sam Darnold lineups are kind of hot. I don't mind these. Again, just the fact he was so bad last week, nobody's going to want to play him. Jefferson can spike a ceiling in any spot, even though it hasn't felt like it this year. Tennessee being competitive on their side is the tough part, but with how bad it was, it's just like, it's hard for me to not have some interest in Darnold just because people played him last week, so mad at him, they think he sucks now. If he's just like pretty good this week and he gets Jefferson there, that can hit for you. So I think Darnold's an interesting play this week. Nicer version of Josh Engelman, smart, funny, can't stand the dummies. I appreciate it. Where are my cats at? My cat died, buddy. I only had one. Do I have a learning disability? No. Do you? I don't know. What is this? What is this chat today? What is it? Can we just do I have to do members only on fucking Sundays? I'll do it. I swear I'll do it. Levis. Well, Levis next. But I appreciate Brian's comment. I guess that's a trade-off is I get a Brian comment and I get whatever this is. Like what? No, I'm in fact rather smart. High IQ and part Asian. So I'm really smart. Will Levis, Christian McCaffrey. That's a joke. Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, not the Asian part though. Devontae Adams, that's me. Calvin Ridley, Nick Westbrook-Akine, Jonnu Smith, Travis Kelce, Titans D. It's a tough one. It's been a tough one today. Will Levis, Alvin, I appreciate everybody being here, but chats sometimes when you get a lot of normies in. I like, elevated normies is where I'd like you to be. Will Levis, Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Swift, but I'm also wearing a fucking pleather money hat, so what am I going to do? Sorry, lineups. Levis, Kamara, Swift, Debo, Shakir, Ridley, Brock Bowers, Eric Sauber, Titans. We got Levis, Kamara, Breece Hall, Ridley, Jacoby Myers, Tyler Boyd, Hunter Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jets. So, look, Levis with Ridley, I can live with. Don't think he gets played a ton, even though that lineup has been okay or the combo's been okay. Ridley's had pretty good upside, basically cornering the market in the entire pass game for the Titans. I think they should be behind this spot. So, look, I don't want to play Levis stacks. I think people have been kind of curious about them for a while now. Ridley and Westbrook-Akine, not a bad stack. Westbrook-Akine keeps scoring touchdowns, even though it feels kind of fluky. I wouldn't play these Levis teams personally, but if I got them in a set, and I would probably wouldn't go like, I can't get one. I do think the Ridley combo and that part of things is a little bit undervalued, especially in game scripts where they're going to be behind as they should be here against Minnesota. Lamar, we got next. Thank you. It's okay. It's okay. It's more distracting me because I do like to, you guys know I like to participate with the chat and all that. But when it's stuff where I'm just like, I don't know how to reply to these things without teaching somebody entirely how to play DFS, that's where it gets a little bit tough for me. But I appreciate people being here. Just don't be entitled about it is all I can ask. Top lineups here for Lamar. So Lamar lineup's not in the top 150 at all. So if you wanted to go that way, Lamar breaking the slate can happen no matter what. So he's not going to be owned. I think it's worth giving a shot. We got Lamar, McCaffrey, Breece Hall, Zay Flowers, Cortland Sutton, Rashad Bateman, Juwan Johnson, Eric Saubert, Broncos D. Lamar, Breece Hall, Achane, Debo, Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore, Davis Allen, Kelce, Jets. Nobody's allowed to pass today. It sucks. I mean, started with Dolphins. You're not allowed either. But yeah, just going to be 0 pass attempts for a lot of different teams. Lamar with McCaffrey, Achane, Zay Flowers. I like the Zay combo most. Juwan Jennings, Austin, Mark Andrews, Davis Allen, Niners. This one is not bad. This one is fun because I think Pickens gets owned a little bit. People are going to see that it's not a bad DVP matchup for Pickens, and that, again, doesn't matter. What matters is that the Ravens defense just isn't good in general, doesn't defend stuff well. Um, you got to be doing a bit, man. He's going to do fine today. I don't know. We're just going through QB by QB, man. I'm going game by game, Dame. I appreciate you're going to get there. We're going to get you there, but just hang with me, buddy. Okay. We're showing every game. I feel like now it's just me and Dame hanging out here. Pickens getting steamed up a little, 15%. Yeah. I like Pickens as a play. It would not shock me if he were 15 and 20. I think it wouldn't be crazy. Our guy Robert Griff III loves Ravens today. Interesting play. This lineup, though, this third one, I think is really fun. Getting Calvin Austin, getting weird with it. Lamar naked, never really the answer. Because of Sims and how they work, you can play naked QBs in a battle royale. At a main slate tournament, it's really hard to win with a naked lineup because somebody's going to play the stack version of it and beat you. So that's generally how it's going to go. Russell Wilson lineups here. Got to make up some time. No, we got to get through everything, buddy. I'm not slowing down. If you want to slow down, play it slower. Russell Wilson, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, George Pickens, Khalil Shakir, Juwan Jennings, Jonnu Smith, Eric Saubert, Bills D. I feel like Dame is a nice guy. I don't need the coaching as much. But thank you, Dame. Russell Wilson, Christian McCaffrey, you're winning me over as we go. Brees Hall, George Pickens, Cortland Sutton, Calvin Austin. So there's your double stack, Wilson and Austin with Pickens. I like the Pickens part. The Austin part could bury you. But you know what? You are getting straight up leverage against Butte, stacked up. I can live with the Austin play. I can live with that. Davis Allen, Travis Kelce, Broncos D. We got Russell Wilson again. McCaffrey, Gibbs, Pickens, Debo Samuel, Butte, Bowers, Saubert. I'm shocked at how much Saubert's coming up, to be honest. Patriots D as well. So Saubert might be because these lineups are chalky if you put in Davis Allen. This one less so. That's why it has Davis Allen in it, would be my guess. But I don't hate these Russ builds either. Honestly, I think we're landing on a few QBs here that I like some of that Lamar stuff, like some of the Darnold stuff, like the Russ stuff more than I would have thought. This is one we're probably not going to like, though. I feel like you're doing AI, but yes, it doesn't look that bad. It does not look that bad. You don't have to just ask me the thing. That's like a thing it's like Luca does. We're like, repeat the thing back and we're like, oh, we're going to the grocery store. Oh, we go to the grocery store? Like, yeah, we're going to the grocery store. Oh, we're going to the grocery store? Like, yeah, we got it. Don't worry. Do you think Dak goes off first game back? What are we doing? What is this? A, he's not even on the slate. B, he's not playing for the rest of the year. Is there another Dak we're asking about? What are we doing? Are we just trying to drive me insane today? Is that the goal? We got AR here, Anthony Richardson lineups. We got to get through all the games, guys. So please, I'm going to ignore chat. I love you all. I'm going to ignore you and focus. We got AR, Kamara, Achane, Drake London, Tillman, Austin, Kyle Pitts, Kelsey Colts. So double tight end here, pay up tight end. Shout out Davis. Welcome to the family, David Smith. I'm low on time, but I appreciate you. This is the most autistic and artistic, I would say. AR again. AR with Christian McCaffrey, Achane, Wilson, Garrett Wilson, that is. Cedric Tillman, Juwan Jennings, Brock Bowers, Davis Allen Rams. So I'll tell you what, I just said the thing about naked QBs. AR might be the one exception because nothing projects that well with him. Still think if AR were to hit, he probably took Josh Downs with him, probably took Alec Pierce and all that. It's how it goes. But would say with AR, I have a hard time playing him this week. These lineups don't look fantastic. But honestly, you can make a case for it, so I don't hate it. We got AR, Achane, Kamara, DeAndre Hopkins, Jacoby Myers, Curtis Samuel, Jonnu Smith, Christian McCaffrey, Colts D. So look, AR teams, you want to play somebody unstacked? That's your guy, it looks like. We got the Jets, 23.8 implied points for them. Aaron Rodgers teams, if you're curious about those. Frankly, going against Indianapolis' defense, I think there's a case to go here. And trust me, I do not like Aaron Rodgers, but the matchup does seem worth some exposure. Aaron Rodgers, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Khalil Shakir, Tyler Conklin, a triple stack with Aaron Rodgers here. Davis Allen as well, Bills D, 2 tight ends again. Sign me up for more expensive Jets pieces, woo. I think that's sarcasm, but the matchup is good enough here that it's worth a shot. We got Aaron Rodgers, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Juwan Jennings, Hunter Henry, Eric Saubert again, Dolphins D. Honestly, more double tight end than I would have thought this week as well. Aaron Rodgers, Madison. Probably wouldn't play Madison with Zamir White taking some more work away, but I guess I get it. Yeah, still probably wouldn't play him. Madison, Brees Hall, Devontae Adams, Debo Samuel, Kayshon Butte, Conklin, McCaffrey, Patriots. I don't like Conklin sneaking in every Aaron Rodgers lineup. Honestly, thought I would like the Rodgers lineups more than I do. But I think there's some logic to going Adams and Wilson on a slate where like receivers not that good. Those guys are pretty expensive, but they can hit and you can kind of then just not have to worry about receiver as much. So I'm all right with it. All right. We got Mac Jones, Achane, Kamara, Shakir, Brian Thomas Jr., Kayshon Butte, Davis Allen, Christian McCaffrey, Dolphins D. If you want to play Mac Jones, it'd be a real sicko. This would be one way to do it. Mac Jones, I have to say, showed absolutely nothing last week. The logic in playing Mac Jones would be kind of the same as going to Mason Rudolph when they played the Lions a couple weeks back. Basically, with the total being where it is, with Jacksonville being where they are, and Doug Peterson as well, knowing that he's probably going to get fired after this game, you kind of throw it all against the wall and see what happens. So I don't hate the concept of Mac Jones as a play this week, even though numerically he's one of the worst QBs in football. I mean, he's inaccurate. He's not getting play downfield. He's terrible under play action. He's not been good with motion plays, which should be easier for a QB. So Mac Jones has been bad, but I think there's game theory logic in playing him. Mac Jones, come on. Mac Jones, Breece Hall, James Cook. If you don't know Mac Jones, he's been a fucking starting QB for a couple of years, and now he's a backup, but he's starting this week for Jacksonville, in fact. Puka Nacua, Zay Flowers, it has to be a bit. Zay Flowers, Brian Thomas Jr., Evan Ingram, Eric Saubert, Bills D. Double stack for that one. All right. Detroit up next with Jared Goff. I also have to blow my nose because it's been driving me fucking nuts. Bear with me 1 second. Having a toddler in the fall. You guys know how it is. Jared Goff, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Keyshawn Butte, Jonnu Smith, Audric Estime, Pats D. Okay, come on. You're fucking, this is the most distracting possible, but it's making me laugh. So what am I going to do? Jared Goff again with McCaffrey, Achane, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Trey Tucker, Keyshawn Butte, Jonnu Smith, Travis Kelce, Patriots. No DK Metcalf. No Sam Laporta this week. So Brock Wright, a little bit more appealing. And apparently Shane Zylstra popping into a lineup here. We got Jared Goff, DeAndre Swift, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Juwan Jennings, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Shane Zylstra. There we go. Christian McCaffrey and Bears D. All right. I like Goff lineups conceptually. High total for sure. Thank you. I think I just showed you. I think I gave you a pretty good read on it. But it does seem like Amon-Ra, you have to play with Goff according to Sims. I think JMO is still a more valid play. I've touted JMO a little bit this week. He made the first lineup. I think the first lineup appealed me the most, even though Butte just not really doing much for me. Stafford lineup's up next, and we're going in game order here. If you hang on till we get the Cleveland side, I can tell you, but they probably will, yes. We got Stafford, McCaffrey. Oh, hot in Miami. There we go. Good. We got McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Cedric Tillman, Jonnu Smith, Davis Allen, and Brown. So a double stack with Puka and Allen here. No bring back. Stafford, McCaffrey, Achane, Cooper Kupp, DeAndre Hopkins, Westbrook-Ikhine, Brock Bowers, Jonnu Smith, Titans. I don't hate these Stafford builds. I don't like Jonnu Smith. I don't want him to be in everything. I don't know why he is, but besides that, it looks okay. Stafford, McCaffrey, Estime, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Tyreek Hill, Hunter Henry, Chig, and Titans. You're not getting a lot of Davis Allen in these. You're only getting him in the top one. So surprised to see that. I would think that adding the stack onto Davis Allen would be a way to make that work a little bit better. That's basically it. Love you. All right. Love your laugh. Thank you. I appreciate that, sir. You're saying you love my laugh. It's borderline romantic. I appreciate it, Brock. But I try to do the best I can here. I just want to make you guys feel heard and all that. But sometimes the chat does distract me. I can't give one-to-one coaching, unfortunately, on these streams. But I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Really does mean a lot to me. I'm a solo proprietor here. Just does my gambling work here on stream every day. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe before you go. I do not do FanDuel, unfortunately, buddy. You can go check it out. Go build your own lineups with Stochastic, 15% off. Drake May, Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, Drake London, Khalil Shakir, Keyshawn Butte, David Njoku, Hunter Henry, and Bills D. Meh. We got, I'd say it's coquettish. We got Drake May, Ramondre Stevenson. I'm just such a demure little gal. Ramondre Stevenson, Devon Achane, Cooper Kupp, Cedric Tillman, Keyshawn Butte, Hunter Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Browns D. Triple stacks. Okay. Drake May, Christian McCaffrey, Audric Estime, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Keyshawn Butte, Brock Bowers, CJ Hawkinson, Pats D. Look, if you want to play Butte, playing him in a May stack would appeal to me more. Really just don't like the Butte play. Feels like you're walking into a buzzsaw, but I get why people will play it for the value. The guy who wanted Jameis stacks, we're looking at your guy next. Jameis, 22.5 implied points against Nolans. None of these lineups are the top 150 lineups, it looks like. Let's not do that. Jameis, McCaffrey, Achane, Drake London, Khalil Shakir, Cedric Tillman, David Njoku, Davis Allen, Bills D. We got Jameis, Breece Hall, Devon Achane, Tyreek Hill, Khalil Shakir, Tillman, Njoku, Davis, Allen, and Jets. I think you got to have Tillman. I think you got to have Njoku if you're going to go this way. Winston, McCaffrey, Kamara, Khalil Shakir, Jennings, Elijah Moore, Njoku, Hunter Henry, Bills. Not a big believer in Elijah Moore. Judy's role has been good enough for Cleveland that he could hit in a stack at some point. I don't know that I want to be the one to pay the price tag for that, but to me, I'm just not the biggest on Jameis stacks this week. I get it's a revenge game. I get New Orleans isn't very good on their side, but the total's just not there enough for me to want to go crazy over it. I think there's Jameis lineups that work pretty well, though, so I'll give him that. Oh my God. Guys, it's okay. It's all decompressed. I mean, I don't do FanDuel for Dame. For anybody out there, I don't do FanDuel personally. It would also be a separate set of lineups to run and sim out, so I'm not going to do it here. But I appreciate you guys caring about FanDuel. If I cared about it too, I would do it. But I'm doing my gambling. I appreciate you guys. But please don't fight in chat or I will take people out. Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, Jahmyr Gibbs, Deebo Samuel, Khalil Shakir, Elijah Moore, Brock Bowers, Juwan Johnson, Bills. You're getting Derek Carr, QB +2 with the bring back. No MVS, though. Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, Estime, Puka Nacua, Deebo, Juwan Jennings, Juwan Johnson, Kelsey, Broncos D. Derek Carr, Devon Achane, Breece Hall, Tyreek Hill, MVS comes in this one with Calvin Austin as well. Juwan Johnson, McCaffrey, Dolphins D. That's kind of fun. If you're not going to go Kamara, going Carr with Juwan Johnson and MVS, I think appeals to me. There being one too where like Mason Tipton can hit. I know with MVS, like people want to go there. He was so much better than Tipton last week, obviously. Mason Tipton's had good work on the year. And like, granted, this could be just me kind of bad defending from last week when I did try to play Tipton a little bit. But I think when you don't see Tipton at all, like he does get routes, he's out there. He just didn't do shit with it last week. All right, Vegas up next. I don't know why you'd want to play Vegas. You shouldn't play Vegas this week because Gardner Minshew could get benched mid-game for Desmond Ridder. No, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what that is. We got Gardner Minshew, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Khalil Shakir. What is Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite? Jacoby Myers, Elijah Moore, Brock Bowers, John. I didn't know he had a show. Johnny Smith, Bills D. Is he doing DFS content? Is he doing lineup sims? The chat reader's rotation. It's been a chat dominant day. I appreciate you guys. If you're in the chat, please hit that like button. Minshew, Gibbs, Achane, Amon-Ra, Ridley, Jacoby Myers, Bowers, Saubert, Titans. With how chalky the Dolphin side of the equation is, I think there is game theory merits to Minshew, and these lineups don't look bad. So if you wanted to play Minshew, I won't yell at you for it. But again, he could get benched mid-game. Minshew, McCaffrey, Kamara, Deebo, Myers, Butte, Johnny Smith, Kelsey, Patriots D as your Minshew lineups here. 201s we kind of saw already, but I'll show them again one more time. Thank you, Brock. I appreciate it. So you share a name with a lot of great men. Brock Bowers, Brock Lesnar is not so much a great man, but good pro wrestler. Tua Tagovailoa here. 2-1 lineups. We saw these already. McCaffrey, Achane, Tyreek, Jennings, Boyd, Jonnu, Kelsey, Titans. Tua with Achane, Estime, Jefferson, Tyreek. This one's still fun. Shakir, less so. Johnny Smith, Juwan Johnson, Bills. Tua, Kamara, Achane, Tyreek, Cortland Sutton, Tyler Boyd, Brock Bowers, Johnny Smith, and Titans D is the one for Tua, but we saw those already. Just want to make sure I'm being complete here for everybody. Because he was basically, they had reported earlier in the week that Ridder was going to start. Minshew's been on the cusp of getting pulled for the last. He's gotten pulled in games already. But the point is, like, you look at things that have occurred before and you read about what the teams are talking about. There's no guarantee he gets pulled, but like he's been bad for a while, and they do want to see what Ridder has. So they're going to see what Ridder has at some point. Might be today, might be next week, might be in 2 weeks. Who knows? We got Jordan Love's lineup. So Jordan Love, really low ROI for Jordan Love lineups. Not a great matchup, not a great total against Chicago, but Jordan Love, we know, can do a lot of crazy shit for sure. Knox is the skeleton key. That's been established. We got Jordan Love, McCaffrey, Achane, Flowers, Reed, Myers, Allen, Saubert, Niners. We got to get through these fast. Love, McCaffrey, Kamara, Romeo Dobbs. You can play the game. Just maybe be careful about your Minshew stacks. Kamara, Dobbs, Juwan Jennings, Westbrook Akine, Kelsey, Knox, and Titans. And Jordan Love with McCaffrey, Achane, Josh Downs, Elijah Moore, Butte, Tucker Kraft, Kelsey Colts. One thing I could say for Jordan Love stacks, if you really had a feel for this one, you wanted to go this way, you think that maybe Caleb Williams improves this week against a tough Green Bay defense, Jordan Love stacks would be unowned, so you could play whatever you want with it. So that's the interesting part for it. I don't love the spot. I don't love the game total, all that. But come on, man. Come on. Everybody, I'm showing you right now, play this today. Caleb Williams, Christian McCaffrey, Patrick Estimate. It's like a concerted bit to drive me insane by multiple people in the chat, which is hard to see. It feels very Truman Show-esque, to be honest. Caleb Williams with McCaffrey, Estimate, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Pearsall, Bauer. This is a sick fucking team. This team. Look, Caleb Williams sucks. If Caleb Williams doesn't suck, this is a really nice lineup. All right, this one too. Caleb, McCaffrey, Madison. No, okay, we're losing it here. Cooper Kupp, Tillman, Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, Kelsey, Browns. We did run Stafford. You could skim back a little bit here. It was just a couple games ago. This one less good. The top one though, that's a really fun lineup because you just need good players to be good, and everything else around that can hit. I actually might play that lineup straight up today. Caleb Williams. So now that I've said it, maybe not. Caleb, McCaffrey, Swift, DJ Moore, Jacoby Myers, Elijah Moore, Travis Kelsey, Pearsall, Browns. These are fun lineups. Like the Elijah Moore part, the Myers part, I'm not crazy about. But honestly, Caleb stacks. Like the price tags come down enough. Green Bay is a tough matchup. The total is only 17.5 implied points, and they're probably going to run a lot this week with the shift to their new offensive coordinator, Thomas Brown. But if they run a little bit and set up the pass and like they're committed to maybe getting them going, I don't want to assume that what Thomas Brown did in Carolina is the same thing that they'll do this year. So Caleb stack's fun. When does Lad play? Is Lad Monday? Is Lad off this week? I don't even know. Oh, no, there's a Sunday night game, right? Yeah, that's it. That's it. Technically, they're on FanDuel. Lad is available on the main slate for FanDuel. So there you go. You know those assholes were playing because I'm rooting for them to shut down the Bengals and end their year. But not Lad McConkey. I hope he doesn't shut down the Bengals. Geno Smith up next. Greg, hope they're going to do a great job in primetime for you. Or Lad will. We got Geno here, Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall. Probably a good captain play tonight. Breece Hall, Deebo Samuel, DK Metcalf, Jacoby Myers, TJ Hawkinson, Eric Saubert, Raiders D. Number 2, we got Geno Smith, Christian McCaffrey, David Montgomery, Tyreek, Drake London, DK Metcalf, Hunter Henry, Saubert, Pats D. We got Geno Smith, Christian McCaffrey, Achane, Deebo, Drake London, DK Metcalf, Hunter Henry, Josh Wiley, and Titans D. Geno lineups don't look like the most fun to me. Total's pretty low for Seattle, too, in this game. They are a 7.5-point dog, which feels kind of aggressive, but I get it. This is sorted by return on investment. You can see the category over here. This is how much the simulation thinks the ROI would be for each lineup. So left category. We got Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Deebo Samuel, Juwan Jennings, Elijah Moore, Davis Allen, Travis Kelsey Browns. That one's got a 262% ROI for that one. Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Deebo Samuel, Jacoby Myers, Juwan Jennings, TJ Hawkinson, Davis Allen Colts, Brock Purdy, Alvin Kamara, Audric Estime, Zay Flowers, Deebo, Juwan Jennings, Saubert, Kelsey Broncos. These Purdy lineups don't feel terribly unique to me. Playing Taylor, I guess that doesn't take a lot to play Jonathan Taylor. You're getting off the beaten path with that. How chalky the RB ownership is going to be. All right. Dame, if you go and click the link in the description for Stochastic, 15% off, they'll give you nothing but winners. And you can customize for all the sites you want, the players you want. Go click that link and build yourself. Nobody's going to give away winners for you on stream. You got to build your own winners. We got Atlanta. Kirk Cousins up next. And for the record, Purdy lineups are fine. I just would like them to pop a little bit more visually. The Caleb ones, I think, Caleb Darnold ones are my favorites so far we've seen. Just because like you're getting a lot of good players in and you're just asking the stack to hit, then you're not going to get the lineups you're looking for, my friend. Kirk Cousins, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane. You're getting great DraftKings lineups right now. Drake London, Jacoby Myers, Elijah Moore, Eric Saubert. Saubert in so many more lineups than I would have thought. Travis Kelsey, Browns D. We got Cousins, Christian McCaffrey, Montgomery, Butte, Cortland Sutton, Tillman, Pitts, London, Patriots, and Cousins, Kamara, DeAndre Swift, Deebo Samuel, Drake London, Ray McLeod, Kyle Pitts, Saubert, and Niners D. These Cousins lineups aren't that great either. Honestly, don't mind playing this game environment a little bit, but Denver, tough matchup, so it is what it is. This side of the equation looks better, though. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for all individual requests. Okay, goodbye, Dame. I think we're done with this experiment. It's been a hell of a run. We got Bo Nix, Christian McCaffrey. Should have probably pulled that trigger half hour ago, guys, but I try. I really am trying to be more patient with people. I just can't. I just don't really have it in me. Please hit the like button if you appreciate my lack of patience. Bo Nix, Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane, Cortland Sutton, Cedric Tillman, Devon Vele, Jonnu Smith, Travis Kelsey, Dolphins D. Bo Nix, McCaffrey, Achane, Tyreek, Sutton, Humphrey. I will not play little Jordan Humphrey no matter fucking what. Davis Allen, Travis Kelce, Dolphins D, Bo Nix, McCaffrey, Kyron Williams, Cooper Kupp, Devon Valley, Humphrey, Johnny Smith, Kelce, Broncos. I wouldn't play Bo Nix without Cortland Sutton. I think Sutton and Estimate could be the stack you go with, but it'd be hard for Nix to hit his true ceiling if he's given some rushing touchdown work away to Estimate. I don't want to play a little Jordan Humphrey no matter what, though. I don't care. It's been a wild day, guys. This has been very lively chat. Of course, as always, I appreciate the regulars. And if you want me to really appreciate you, hit that join button down below for $4.99. And then, hey, maybe I'll even give you fucking FanDuel lineups. I guess. FanDuel people, by the way, like, no disrespect to the FanDuel people out there, but the FanDuel people on the internet who like pop up in YouTube chats, really making the rest of you guys look bad. Something I'll say. Like the FanDuel people that come into like content, just fucking lunkheads that are like also like offended by the fact that like you're like, you know, DraftKings videos get more views and all that. It's like a really weird thing with FanDuel people that I feel like I'm dealing with like Shelbyville and I'm Springfield here, just trying to get by. Patrick Mahomes, we got Christian McCaffrey, Devon Achane. We got Garrett Wilson, DeAndre Hopkins, Lil Jordan Humphrey, Eric Saubert. The amount of Lil Jordan Humphrey and Eric Saubert we're getting on these sims is fucking insane. Travis Kelce, Jets D. Patrick Mahomes with McCaffrey, Breece Hall, DeAndre Hopkins, Juwan Jennings, Curtis Samuel, Juwan Johnson, Travis Kelce, Saints D. And then lastly here for the Patrick Mahomes lineups, we have Mahomes, McCaffrey, Kyron, Hopkins, Jennings, Boyd, Henry, Kelce, Titans. So I'm shocked that like going through this process, that the thing that stands out to me the most is like, well, if those Caleb Williams lineups hit, like that shit wins you $1 million. And that is really the main thing that I'm shocked by. The Darnold ones too, those Caleb lineups, those are really fucking good lineups. Like as long as Caleb can just be early season Caleb that beats up on shit teams, it's gonna be hard to do against Green Bay. But if he does, that wins you all the money today. I really strongly believe that actually. Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Khalil Shakir, Kayshon Boutte, Curtis Samuel, Johnny Smith, Kelce, Patriots. Josh Allen double stack is really tough, man. He just doesn't pass enough to targets in a concentrated way. QB +1 with Allen, I'd be more into. Allen, Achane, Chubb, Tyreek, Drake London, Shakir. Even Shakir at this point, I'm not crazy about. Juwan Johnson, Saubert, Bills. You're not getting Dawson Knox here, which I think is interesting to note as well. Josh Allen, Achane, Swift, Puka Nacua, Khalil Shakir, Boutte, Saubert, Kelce, Bears. So it seems like with all the ownership to Allen, all the ownership to Knox potentially, Saubert comes up a lot in the Sims, and that is something that you're all going to have to grapple with. But there we go, guys. Went a little bit long today. Obviously, a lot of distractions in the chat today as well. But I do appreciate all you guys who watched. If you appreciate the show as well, number one, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I do these videos every Sunday at 9 a.m. And I try to do a good job with it, even though sometimes it can be distracting and hard to do. But I do hope these videos add value, showing you some of the top products out there and what they're seeing sim-wise to help you build your better lineups. And that's the goal here. It's not to spoon-feed you the best lineups, just to show you trends and help you use your brain to figure out, oh, this is happening a lot in these top ROI lineups. So how should I do this or should I do this? And that's sort of what this video should be. So I hope you guys are getting that out of it, even though maybe some people today did not. Underdog, $1,000 in bonus cash. Check that out. Link in the description. Stochastic, of course, couldn't do this show without them. 15% off. Link in the description for them as well. That's all their tools, all their data. Get 15% off. If you want to build FanDuel lineups, go do it there. They do a great job of it. Unabated, $30 off. Promo code SPLASH. Want to get some good betting stuff in. And the Solver. Link in the description for that as well. A great tool if you want to optimize and then sim stuff out. So if you want to, for one of those people that needs to build stuff out, you want to lock in Davis Allen and see all the lineups with that, do that with the Solver. Great way to do it. Thank you all the fine folks who joined the channel, along with our guy, was it William before? No, David, sorry. David who joined before. Appreciate all the support here. You too can support the show and content like this down below. $4.99, hit the join button. You'll get VIP Discord. You also get my data sheet every week, and you get special premium videos from me on Friday, going game by game, looking at the advanced analytics, trying to find an edge for that. So that's how it goes. Eddie, you know what? I'm not mad at you for this, but you got to take a fucking laugh. Sorry, it's not. Jay's not even on the slate today. Don't fucking be mean to him. He's not overrated. He's just being encumbered by a bad offensive coordinator. But I hope you guys have a great slate today. Hope you have the best of luck no matter what you're playing. I'll see you guys again soon. Enjoy your days. Pimp and and of course, good luck. Gamble responsibly. Always money time. Blah blah blah. Bye bye.